Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Midlife Identity. Monica here. Midlife and its challenges. For health reasons, we have different changes in our health, aging, hormonal changes, changes of routine. Because earlier it is, we're running against time, as I've always said. And then in midlife, it's a little, we tend to slow down. It's that stage of our life where even the enthusiasm tends to dip a little. Harmony of the mind and body, having an internal balance is of utmost importance. Building a positive attitude and well being practices has to be priority. A synergy of the mind, body, and soul. Definitely, it can all be done through meditation, yoga, sound healing, and many other practices. But the important point is, how do I get there? How do I feel motivated to follow a path, to follow a routine? Well, who better than our today's guest, Rima, can guide us onto this path of oneness? Hi, Rima. Welcome to Midlife Identity.
Hi, Monica. Thank you. Thank you for having me at your podcast.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. So, Nrima, tell us, what do you do and a little about yourself.
So, I'm a yoga teacher. My journey started with yoga, and now I do sound bath facilitation. I'm also a Reiki healer, and I practice access bars and access consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are the major things which I practice. But apart from that, I'm also into tarot card reading for my clients, not specifically on what the outcome would be, but specifically for reading the energy of the client or seeing what energy would serve them their highest. So I use them a little differently from for the general reason why people go to tarot cards.
Okay.
So these are the kind of things I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a custom soul session also, which is completely a one-on-one energy session with a client where the
Mm-hmm.
intentions are put exactly what is required. And then there are different modalities which I work around, like Ma Kali healing is also a course which I facilitate so that people can heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I also facilitated sound alchemy, which is how to use sound bowls to heal yourself and to heal others. Because I honestly believe that it's a responsibility which everyone has to take on their own. Like you can go to every sound bath facilitator, you can pay your healers, and that's all amazing. But at
Mm-hmm.
one point of time, you have to take that responsibility that your energy is actually your responsibility.
Responsibility, right. You have to be
So
accountable to your own self, you mean to say, right?
yes, so
Mm-hmm.
I facilitate some trainings to teach people how to come on their sadhana and to do their self work, not
Mm-hmm.
only to be dependent on teachers, on healers,
Mm-hmm.
because I truly think that the power is in your own hand. You have your own inner healer. And
Mm-hmm.
if you activate that every single day, you do not need anyone. It's almost like you have a divine connection with that healer or the form of God which is within you, the divine connection.
Connection. Wow, that sounds so beautiful. It is a real, giving back to the world something which is already there in the universe, and making people understand the depth of it, and walking them through or making them practice it. I think it's a very beautiful and a very impactful thing that you're doing. It's really, really great work. Can you just tell
Yes.
us how did you get introduced to this, and when did you feel that you should be a part of all of this healing? Because nowadays, what actually, see, earlier also, people would have healed themselves, but in maybe different forms, or did not understand what they are doing. Maybe because of the internet age today, we understand more than we would have ever, right? So
Right.
So, I mean, how did you get into it? What attracted you? What was your first, calling kind you felt, no, something is pulling you? Just run us through it.
So I've been practicing yoga asana since many years, over 10, 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I did my teacher training, I was never intending to teach anyone. It was just like for my own knowledge. And I remember the sir who taught me, he said that the theory part of the teacher training you already know. Because
Okay.
I had read so much about I have all the yoga books and I was so well read about it. I mean, I still cannot say I'm well read. It's way to go. But I
Mm-hmm.
was so influenced by, what the gurus have written and how the different parts of yoga are
Mm-hmm.
and how it affects you so differently. That he told me that you already know the teacher training theory part about it, but just because you signed up, we're just going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, in spite of that, I finished my teacher training. I had no intention of teaching anyone, and but I used to post my journey on Instagram on my personal account.
Mm-hmm.
That okay, I did this yoga. Oh, I finished my teacher training. Oh, I did this, but I still did not put it up there that I want to teach. I want to do anything. But honestly, like as I still take it in my journey, is that the path. It's almost like the path finds you. You do not find this path.
Right. Right.
So what happened is that some people started asking me that okay, I'm a doctor, like two doctors from Indore, like
Mm-hmm.
I have a busy schedule and I've been seeing your stuff and would you like teach me at 5 a.m. At these hours because they honestly
Mm-hmm.
don't have other time.
Time.
And
Mm.
I am a morning person and I used to wake up for like 4 a.m., 4:30 for my sadhana. So I said, fine, that works for me because morning does work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that the clients started coming to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started realizing that, okay, maybe I should create a separate page because I didn't want my personal life and professional life to be so intertwined with my things going on. So I created a separate page. I said, you know what, let me just put all my yoga stuff there. Even if it's only a journey and I'm not teaching, that's fine. And like I said, the path almost chooses you. So it went from like a lot of yoga to yoga clients to
Mm-hmm.
Reiki. I learned Reiki to heal myself. I never learned it to heal my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, I use it like a SOS, like whenever required. If somebody needs, I would suggest it. I would not like openly say that, oh, I'm a Reiki healer, take my sessions. If it's
Mm-hmm.
required, and if I think that it would help my client, I would just suggest that, do get your Reiki healing done. Maybe if you do not through me, through anybody else, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I got into Reiki is for my own energy level, for my own cleansing, for keeping
Mm-hmm.
myself balanced. And I found it very easy. So I also learned pranic healing some years back.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the concept of energy work and everything. But somehow I couldn't keep up to it. Like I didn't practice it enough. I did not give it so much time how I
Mm-hmm.
should have.
Mm-hmm.
But I found Reiki very easy. It was very doable in my hectic lifestyle. So because it was so doable, that ease of doing it everywhere, that I started practicing it way more.
Mm-hmm.
And because I started practicing, I started meeting people who required it and I started doing their healings. It was just like the path chose me. It was even like for something like a sound healing.
Mm-hmm.
I went for a solo trip to Rishikesh and I was bored. I didn't know what to do. I just took the trip. It was my birthday. It was
Okay.
my 40th, and I said, I'm going to go to Rishikesh for 4 days and do something. I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
And I just booked the tickets. I went. I was just chilling in the ashram, and I was like, okay, now what? And I just signed up for the sound bath thing. I had
Mm-hmm.
no intention. Forget teaching. Even after the course got over, I
Mm-hmm.
just bought one or two bowls back with me. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to practice it. I mean, I just learned it. Doesn't mean that I have to
Mm-hmm.
buy the whole set and make a big
Set.
deal out of it. So, and even when I was learning, I was like, fine. And my guru there told me that he's like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? You don't know what you're learning. You're not valuing what you're learning right now. He actually told me this because I think it was so obvious. And
I
I
think,
said, I'm on a
yeah.
girl's thing. I mean, I just want to learn something new. I mean, I don't have to take everything so seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the intention all the time. It's just that you want to learn more and you just add it to
Yes.
your learnings.
And I just added it for myself. I didn't even like care about like,
Mm-hmm.
like doing it for people or facilitating or buying the bowls and anything. So, but when I came back to Bombay,
Mm-hmm.
I continued with my yoga asana classes. And what I started doing is I started using the sound bowls in Shavasana,
Mm-hmm.
last 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, I mean, the three bowls that I had bought from Rishikesh,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that when people woke up from Shavasana, their skin was literally shining.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were so calm,
Vibrate.
and I had
Yeah.
never seen that, that state of being in my students because I had been teaching them since a while now.
Right.
And
Okay.
I realized that the way people felt relaxed in just 3 minutes, or sometimes even just 1 minute because we were running out of time.
Hmm.
And I felt that there was something which affected them so deeply. And I was like, okay, this works. I mean, maybe I haven't at that point, I had not even used them on myself so much because I had learned the course. I would go for sound healing sessions and just like enjoy and say, okay, I feel calm, I feel peace, and I just like chill.
Hmm.
But when I saw my students on how their life changed, like one of my private client, he felt so relaxed. He healed his knee pain. He got promoted in his work. I think he found everything what he wanted to at that point of time.
It's based,
And I
yeah.
realized,
Sorry,
so
yeah.
then I
Hmm.
actually figured that something was so powerful in those three bowls, which
Hmm.
even though I was trying with yogic practices like a sadhana or pranayam, my private client, I was working with him with
Hmm.
asana, like everything that I ever knew, I was putting that effort with him because he was a private client.
Hmm.
But what change I saw in this, which was so quick, right, was
Right.
amazing. Like that's when I felt that, okay, this is powerful stuff. Like this is not something which, I should pursue this to some other level, not just just doing it in Shavasana. And in spite of that, I did not really make, honestly, some major attempts to pursue it.
Okay. So it is
So the
somehow you had
guru,
your calling
yeah.
all the time, and you were pushed
And I
into
was just
it.
like, I was not even pushed. It was just like a journey. Like I continued the sessions,
Hmm.
I continued my private sessions, and then I got so many clients that I told them, all of y'all come for the group session because I can't take one-on-one anymore. I'm tired.
Hmm.
So, but then what happened is the person who taught me sound healing, he made a trip to Bombay to
Hmm.
teach teachers, or he never even comes here. He just came. I don't know how. And then
Hmm.
I went to meet him, and he said, my these seven attuned bowls, which are like my bowls, which I use now. He
Hmm.
said that they are very heavy, and if I've just bought these, and they are attuned to the chakras, and technically they are fine.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I said, wow. I said I was going to tell you to get it, but I forgot. And I said, I told him, can I just buy these from you? Like,
Hmm.
and for me, this was a big thing if he said yes, because he taught me. So
Absolutely.
he's not going to get the bowls which are duplicate or something. He's going to have good
It is,
stuff.
yeah, and I'm sure it must be already aligned somewhere with the
Aligned, attuned,
vibrations and
yes. So
everything.
first he
Yes.
was hesitant. He said, oh no, these are important to me. And I said, I just requested, I said, if you would do it, it would be great. Because if
Hmm.
I came to the Himalayas, Dharamshala, wherever I buy them from, I
Hmm.
have to pay the shipping amount. And I don't even know if they
How
are the right,
authentic are they?
yeah, how authentic they. And he had taught me to judge the bowls in the teacher training. Like
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
know that if the bowl is fake or if it's not handmade, what is the
Hmm. Hmm.
frequency,
Hmm.
how to check the frequency.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I told him it's a lot of effort, to do all that. Like now that you have them, just give them to me.
Hmm.
And he
That-
agreed.
hmm.
He agreed to give me the bowls. And and then also I had those bowls for 1, 2 months. They were just kept. I used to use it for myself. I used to put them in. None of my students knew I had those bowls. I just put a story and I left it.
Hmm.
And then I think one sound healer got in touch with me, and he was into some other instrument. And he's like, do you want to do a sound bath together? And I said, I haven't really thought of it, but I have everything. I mean,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
so he's like, yeah, so let's try it. And honestly, he like pushed me a little, and I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And then we did a sound bath. It was very great. People felt amazing, and that's when he was not from Bombay. He had just come. It was almost like he
Hmm.
gifted me this thing and went. And he left. And then after that, I just started having my own sessions. One like I had one. I said, let me keep one month. And people are like, okay, now when is the next? When is the next? So I'm like, okay, I'll just
So
think
it's just
about it.
been that, there's some kind of an alignment which keeps bringing you back to where, it should be, and how much you have to give back to the people
Yes.
in your own way.
Yeah.
So whether you know about it, you do not know, but you're on that vibrational frequency where you get attached, people are attracted, and you just go about it whether you wanted to, you did not want to, you don't know, but you're into it. right?
Yeah, and the path is almost like it's just showing up, right?
Every
Because
time. Yes, yes. So, but
it's
this is
like,
so beautiful because, many a times it is people keep searching, but the universe is always waits for the right time to, open
yes.
doors for you. But again, people doubt. So, generally, if you will see, I'm sure you're taking so many sessions and you meet so many people. So, it's what I
Mhm.
have observed around me. It is, everybody thinks only logically with their ego and intellect, and they would say, okay, no, all doors are closed, or nothing is around the corner, or do not have that belief that yes, something will come up. So you are a classic example where you didn't even know the door was there, but things just
Yeah.
kept pouring in. So I mean, this is, I hope my listeners, all of our listeners, just take that cue from here that the universe has just laid out everything for us. It's just
Yes.
that we have to be patient, wait for the right time, have the intention, or just if it's meant for you, nothing will pass you by. Absolutely. Right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like in yoga, there is this concept called Ishwara Pranidhan,
Mm-hmm.
and that means surrender. Surrender to the highest good. And in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra book,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sage Patanjali has not even spoken about Ishwar more than once. He's mentioned Om, and
Mm-hmm.
he's mentioned Ishwar Pranidhan, which means surrender, which could mean to the highest good, to God, to the power of Om, which means that if you simply surrender and live in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
everything is taken care of. It's
Yeah.
almost like Aham Brahmasmi, like you are that, like you are enough, you are complete.
Complete.
Like you don't need
Absolutely.
anything else. It's almost like they say that it's a sound healing, but honestly, everyone is complete. It's just that they need this reminder that they are complete. They've just forgotten it. Like that inner healer in them, that small healer which is sitting, is just a forgotten thing.
Yes, yes. Actually, yes. Everybody is so much caught up in the daily noise and the mundane around that, you just get
Yes,
dissolved into all of this external where we forget the internal, which is always with us. The external will come and go, but the internal is always, always there within
absolutely.
us. And because of
And do
all,
you know,
mm,
I also want to add that it's so
mm,
important to do a
mm,
5 or at least 10 minutes sadhana every day.
mm,
Like, you can actually tap back into that if you create a nice sanctuary in you. You
mm,
can tap back into it whenever you need. If you make that effort, it's almost like you make your higher self your best friend.
mm,
But even to your best friend, even in this 3D world, you have to give time, right? Like if you're
right.
not going to call your best friend back, she's not going to be there also for you when you need her. The relation is gone.
Mm,
So that effort, if you make with God or if you make with yourself,
mm,
that 10 minute of sadhana could be anything like lighting a diya, praying to the diet. Like if you pray to Hanuman, pray and talk to him like your friend.
mm,
If you have your own sadhana, then like look at, like for me, it's like a tratak meditation and sitting with
mm,
myself, doing my self Reiki healing every day. I actually do every day self Reiki healing on myself.
mm.
So for me, that is my sanctuary, which I can come back to whenever I feel off balance. But if I
Absolutely.
didn't make that effort in my normal life when things are in balance, then there is nowhere for me to go to. It's almost like, okay, now I have this problem and now life has ended for me. Oh, nothing is working for me. But when things were working also, if you do not make that effort, so
Yeah. Mm,
I see a lot of people like they go for, they are socializing, they are partying. There's nothing wrong in any of this.
mm,
But if you have time to scroll through Instagram for 1 hour, if you have time to go have a coffee, or if you have time to go on a wedding, which is not even your close
mm,
wedding, then you definitely have 10-minute time for your sadhana. So when people say that, okay, I saw a very good article that day where this yogini said that,
mm,
when people come up in their reels saying that, oh, I don't have time for, if you don't have time for yoga, just do this 5-minute routine, you will feel fine. If you don't have time for this in your life, do this. But that is not the solution. if
solution.
if you want to make anything sustainable, whether it is yoga, whether it is reiki, whether it is your connection with the deity, whether it is your sound bath,
Mm,
like some of my clients have bought only one bowl to self heal themselves. So any connection that you built, if you do not give it time, there's no
yes,
quick fix solution that okay, do this 2 minutes, do
absolutely.
this 2 minutes. No, that time you have to give.
Agreed.
So
Totally,
make time
totally
for it,
for it.
you
So
know,
that
making
is
time for it.
what, that is what exactly, and then when people feel lost and you don't know where to look, as you said, when you're not in your balance and you really don't know where to look. So it's about building, and anything that you build definitely needs time, attention, lot of effort to put into it to build something. It's building your own resilience, building your own self. And as you nicely said, that your higher self is your best friend. So connect with your best friend every single day. And that is something, it's a habit which has to be built. Which I personally also, believe in it so much, because for me, even meditation, definitely, yes, every single day, for whatever time I can do, I do it. But even I think sitting by yourself, enjoying your cup of tea and coffee, lighting a candle, creating that atmosphere just to be with your own being is meditation. So
Absolutely.
that is also very important, because so many times, like I speak to people, meditation, no, no ways. Many fear meditation कि मैं साधु बन जाऊंगी meditate करके. That
Yeah.
fear is also there. So definitely these are myths where people are so scared to even go inward somewhere. They feel they'll get lost, rather than realizing that one is already lost in the outer world, and it's not getting lost in the inner world. It is just connecting, and I think finding yourself and not getting lost.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so that is also, just that time. So, even when one wants to just wake up in the morning, and we all love our morning chai, most of us, I'm sure, we love our morning chai. And I think just sitting with that delicious cup of chai, sipping on that chai in peace, is also meditation, because you're in one with yourself. So, I mean, practices of meditation can be in various forms. It's just about connecting with your own self to be in peace, balance, harmony. And what do you have to say on that?
I absolutely agree that every action can become a meditation if
Mm-hmm.
you are present with it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if you are having your chai and if you are actually just involved with how good that feels or how you slept well, and if your mind is not all over the place, then
Mm.
that becomes an action of meditation. So, to live in the
Absolutely. Yeah.
present moment
Moment. To be aware of your
is
present
is
moment.
so
Yes.
important. It's so important. And even your energy, like the kind of, if you go out, then you pick up energy from, other people,
Mm.
places,
Mm.
situations. So sitting by yourself is actually even a part of cleansing, and it's called energetic hygiene. It's
Okay.
like having a salt
Mm.
water bath. Like salt will actually help you to release the energy which you picked up. It's like an energy cleanse if you have a salt water bath in the end of your shower.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would recommend, like if I have gone for a wedding or if I have met too many people, like for example, when I have my sound bath workshops,
Mm-hmm.
when my session finishes, I go home and I actually have a salt water bath,
Mm.
which means that any energy that I have picked up
Picked up.
should
Mm.
first get cleansed.
Mm.
That's basic energetic hygiene. It's almost like if you've gone into play into sand, you come
Mm.
back and you just wash your hand, right? So
Right.
that's hygiene. It's not, you don't need a sadhana or tool. It's just energetic hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially when you go for some places which are crowded, you go to a club, you go to party, you go to a wedding,
Mm.
you come back, you met people, you exchange energies. You just come back and have a salt water bath, and you just put a simple intention that everything which is not of my highest good be released right now. It's
Mm.
as simple as, such a simple intention can go such
Mm.
a long way.
Yeah, but then
So,
many people, yeah, sorry. Okay, complete. Because,
no, no, that's absolutely fine.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I would like to actually know your 2 cents about this.
Hmm. So no, no. What you're saying, of course. I mean, I totally, about the salt just absorbs all your negativity, everything. But there are many people, who are very, what do I say, in the right way, and not very energy sensitive towards energy, and may not believe in this. They may find it a futile exercise. The ones believers will do it default. right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
believers do it default, the non-believers would find it a futile exercise. So now there is a very thin line about understanding about it deeply, believing in it, and not believing in it. Do you think the non-believers are as affected as the believers?
They are affected, but they are not. So everyone's energy body is different.
Hmm.
Okay, so the
Hmm.
more sadhana you practice, your energy body becomes more light,
Light. Hmm.
which means that you also get more sensitive to energy.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you will go to a party and somebody who's more sensitive might get more affected depending on how much she feels protected on her point of views, a lot of other factors.
Hmm.
Someone who doesn't believe, her energy body was never so sensitive to start with
Hmm.
because they did not believe. So even if they are affected unconsciously, they do not know this,
Hmm.
but they
So,
might get sick physically
yeah,
after
how
a
would
week.
they? Yeah, so what are the signs for them to know
Yeah, so
that, you
they
know?
might get sick physically, like, okay, or they might
Hmm.
catch a cold, cough, getting a
Hmm.
headache. I'm just
Hmm.
telling you some small things.
Yeah, yeah.
And they might just feel, okay, I got this because I just had a cold drink.
Hmm.
I had something thanda. Oh, the ice didn't suit me.
Hmm.
So it's fine. It could be the physical reasons also. And maybe if they don't believe in salt water, it's absolutely fine. I myself know people who do not believe in things like this.
Yeah.
But a simple ritual like lighting a diya in your house,
Hmm.
it's something like a candle.
Correct.
Something like, a basic way to come back to yourself. That could be many. Like for some people, it's journaling.
Hmm. Yeah.
They will write it down.
Hmm.
So so suppose now if they journal every day and they sit with their journal again tomorrow. So
Hmm.
then they brought their energy back to their journal because their energy is more centered when they are writing.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's it's that action of theirs which is their kind of sadhana, you can say.
Agreed. Totally, totally. Yeah, as you know, the various practices that we do brings us to a center and, you know, makes us feel in balance. So, there's this thing I feel like we talk about midlife, right? People, you must be having clients of all ages. And
Right.
midlife is one challenging time, you know, hormonal changes, empty nesters, reflection on your life, again, thinking about, you know, what is going to go ahead in time we don't know. Like a lot of things, right? There's a big change, there's a big shift. 100% there's a shift. For people in their midlife, what is that strong message you would give them to practice, you know, keeping everything aside, like a no brainer practice to keep being in alignment with themselves?
So the first thing I would say is physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the time where your body is going to say no to every physical. It's just going to be like, it's not happening. So that is one thing, that go for a walk, go for your yoga, go for any physical activity is the, because your body is literally like your temple of your energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that physical activity will firstly change your perspective.
Right.
Once you any activity that you like, you don't
Hmm.
have to do yoga, whatever suits you, just do it religiously. Even if you're
Hmm.
feeling very lazy, okay, I don't feel like, just put your act together and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because after a point, it's going to be like, if you don't move that part, it's going to be even more lazy. It's going to
Right.
reach that. So make sure that you have that sadhana, is your
Mm-hmm.
physical body.
Hmm.
For your mental body, do any form of meditation. Not only meditation, you can even just chant.
Hmm.
Chanting makes it much easier because even if
Hmm.
your thoughts come, you can come back to the mantra. Or
Okay.
light a
Hmm.
diya. You
Hmm.
can light a diya. There are so many apps nowadays, I see. But just stick
Hmm.
to that one thing honestly for most of the days. Don't change your schedule too much for the meditation, for the mind, because then the mind doesn't associate with one thing as their own. It starts
Okay.
associating with a new tool every day. It's
Okay.
like, your sadhana, it's like do one particular thing for at least some time. What? Because we are so overexposed to technology and everything. Today I'm doing this, tomorrow I'm doing that, tomorrow
Hmm.
I'm doing.
Yeah,
So
people
at
want
least
that variety
yeah. So
spice
if
of
you can
life.
stick to, like, if your sound bowl works for you every day, playing it 20 times and chanting Om, that's
Hmm.
fine. But do it every day.
So being consistent on one
Yes.
particular thing,
On one
that's what.
particular thing, because then you will know. what is working for you. That becomes like your best friend, your, a nice home, your sanctuary you can come back to.
Okay. Wow. All
I
right.
think these are the two things. Of course, food, nutrition, all that is super important.
Yes.
But, and also having
Mhm.
a healthy set of people around you.
Around,
You honestly become
absolutely.
the people you associate with. Eventually, you just become like them.
I mean, this is like 110%. You have just, nailed it, you could say, because it's your environment and the people around you who motivate you, push you to do things, or put you, whatever, your energy, your vibration,
Yes,
you are on that
absolutely.
frequency according to exactly who are around you. I mean, that makes a big, big difference in your life. And especially, in midlife, what happens with all the changes happening? You tend to slow down because your activities are different, your priorities change. Then you tend to get a
Right.
little laid back, the enthusiasm dips, as I said earlier. So, all of this, tends to affect a person's mental well being to a certain
Yes.
extent. And if you just let yourself go easy, it just takes
Hmm.
a big turn. Then, as you rightly said, you don't feel like working out, you don't want to do anything. And slowly, that's when you have people, अब life हो गया, अब हमें क्या करना है, अब ये दर्द कर रहा है, वो हो रहा है ना, मेरे को खुशी नहीं
Right.
मिलती है, कोई चीज़ में खुशी नहीं मिलती है. The mindset keeps going into a whirlpool
Also,
of different kind of thoughts.
Monica, one thing which is
Mm-hmm.
very good
Mm-hmm.
for the mind
Mm-hmm.
as you're getting a little older is constantly learning.
Absolutely.
When you learn new things all the time, it's like for me, right? Like I keep on
Mm.
learning modalities, even though I
Mm-hmm.
don't use all of them. Like some of the modalities I know, I do not even talk about it.
Right.
Like like channeling, like spirit guides, like talking to them or whatever. The point is that if you keep on learning,
Learning.
your
Hmm.
brain, there is a rewiring happening in your brain all the
Brain.
time. So the
Yes.
brain is not getting old faster.
Hmm.
It's almost when you stop learning is when you start aging.
Absolutely. Bang on. Yes, because the more you're learning, you're out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself, keeping yourself, at it. And that makes a big, big
And
difference.
that's also a constant self improvement. Like I
Hmm.
had done this course once, and the in the group there was one lady who was 68, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, what course is this? Like, they're like 68-year-old woman. Like, and then I felt guilty that, okay, I'm also judging her. Like, seriously, so what?
Uh-huh.
That's her choice.
Hmm.
And she said that, like people in my house are like judging me for doing something like this. They're like, oh, this is not your time to learn something new. But
Hmm.
that lady even did a teacher training, yoga teacher training at like 62.
Hmm.
So I was like so proud of her that, she's come out of her comfort zone. She's constantly learning. Her brain is so active. The questions that she was asking in that group, I was like, wow. So, it's not like, okay. So I think this constantly learning new
Learning
things,
is.
constantly evolving. Like how I said, like that day for my meditation, it took me 2 hours to figure out the mic. And I
Hmm.
was like, okay,
Right.
what's going on? But after that, my life got so easy.
Easy.
And
Yes, yes.
I learned a new skill. I could have easily told some young person in my house, come and do this for me, or hire someone, even pay someone to do it. I don't care. I can just pay someone
Mm-hmm.
700, 800, whatever
Mm-hmm.
amount. But the
Mm-hmm.
point is that I went on YouTube, I learned it, I figured it out. That is a rewiring of my brain.
Absolutely. I totally, totally agree with you because that's what I'm doing constantly. So, like when I even wrote my book, I have self-published it on Amazon and I did it all by myself, like from,
Yes.
editing,
I think
publishing,
that's
and putting it
amazing.
on.
That's amazing.
So, thank you. But this is just to highlight the fact that we keep learning every single day. So, doing
Exactly. It's like you're constantly evolving. It's not like
evolving.
you're static.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. This has been such a lovely conversation. I think we can just go
Yes.
on and on and on, but we have very restricted time remaining with us
Yes.
to connect. Yeah, so I mean, one thing what I really loved about what you said, keeping your higher self as your best friend and all of these things, I hope our listeners just hold on to these points. What is that one little thing you would tell our listeners to hold on to for their mental well being, for keeping that synergy with themselves to live a
I
very
think the one
comfortable
message
life?
I want to put forth to all the viewers is that you are always supported.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be you are supported by the universe, by your spirit guides, by your angels, ancestors, by your gods, goddesses, whoever you believe.
Mm.
But you are way more supported than you think. way more. It's almost like you have so much support around you, but you have to ask.
Hmm. It's
So
like,
it's important to
hmm
sit and even if you do not ask, you're supported anyway.
and
But if you
right.
do ask for help, you are supported on energy levels of way more than what people realize. They feel they are playing alone in this world, they are on their own, but honestly, nobody is alone. So
Right.
this message is a lot of it brings a lot of mental strength to people who are going through things.
Things. Absolutely. It's like the
And if
universe
you ask
always
for
has.
signs, you will get, yeah. If you ask for signs, you will get those also.
Hmm.
So they are each and every one is deeply, deeply supported.
Wow. That's so beautiful. So the universe always has our back. Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Wow. Then, our dear listeners, please remember the universe has your back and your angels are around you. They are always listening to you. Just move away all the noise and listen, learn, build that awareness, be in the present, and start listening or seeing those little small signs which the universe is giving you day in, day out. Connect with those signs, and definitely you live a life in synergy. Thank you, Rima. You've been such a great
Yes.
guest. So much of information, so much of learnings. Thank you for
Yes.
being a part of our show today. Thank you for coming.
And it's a pleasure, Monica. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah. Okay. Then, thank
Yes.
you. Yes. Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. Stay tuned for more and more on midlife identity. Bye bye for now.